Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my page. Welcome back to my channel. Hopefully, you guys are doing good out there and staying safe. And I'm coming at y'all with a different sort of video. I wanted to come on here and talk about something different and regarding my channel and stuff like that. I wanted to just focus on the problem I see in today's media when it comes to nerd culture slash geek culture and anything that has to do with casting somebody or whatever. The fact is, some people are referring to this as blackwashing, and some people are referring to this as pointless race swapping. And here's the thing: this whole thing of race swapping really picked off. I want to say when freaking the Little Mermaid and Holly Bailey played the Little Mermaid, and then that's when a lot of people got mad and upset, like, oh, casting a black person to play a white person, they're taking our characters, they're taking our roles, and a lot of the racist people came out the woodworks and say, how about you make your own characters and leave these white characters alone and things like that. It's just nonsensical, and it's really not that big of a deal, and it just shows their blatant racism and how race swapping or blackwashing is not really a thing. And so I'm about to break it down. And the argument that some people oppose is how would black people feel if Hollywood took a black character and turned them white? And I'm going to explain to y'all how that's really impossible, and they can't really get no way around that, especially in the media. There's actually little black people in very little black characters in TV shows, movies, cartoon, etc., etc. So you want to take the few black characters we have and make them white? That would make no sense. But here's my thing, all right? And I actually have this photo I have right here. This is Annabeth in the Percy Jackson The Olympians remake, which is one of my favorite live action reboots in recent years. And congratulations to Miss Leah, I forget her last name, apologies, for winning an NAACP award and being nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a fantasy drama series on the kid version of the Emmys, though. So she really is just a big old bowl of sweetie pie. So, like, kisses and flowers to her. There was controversy with her. Is that is that they casted a black girl to play Annabeth, and this is what Annabeth. Hold on. This is what Annabeth looks and it's described in the books. It's described in the books. And then when they casted, this little black girl, the racist people came and said, "What is this? Get this monkey or this, this porch monkey, this N word off my TV or whatever." They're taking away, our characters and ruining them and pointless race swapping, and they're taking white characters and making them black, and basically I feel like it was just some racism and things like that. You can get mad at casting, but sending threats and calling her a porch monkey and an N-word monkey and saying she did not deserve to be in this role. At the end of the day, she auditioned, went up for a role, and she got it. So it does show y'all racism, how you go and give hate towards these actresses and actors who really just went up for a role and auditioned. It really makes no sense. But anyway, how I feel casting a black person to play a white character, a white no a character that's described as white is not really a big deal. Because here's my thing: the character of Annabeth, even though she is described as what hazelnut eyes or white and blonde hair, can really be played by a female of any other race. Because here's the thing, though: her ethnicity and who she is does not represent the story. Okay, so therefore, Annabeth can be played by any race of by any race, by a female of any ethnicity. If they want to make her Asian, they can make her Asian. They want to make her Indian, they can make her Indian. It actually does not matter, because even though she is described as a blonde hair, blue eyed girl in the comic, in the book, in the Percy Jackson series, does not, I mean, the plot is not dependent on a white girl. Oh, she's white, and like her whole background is she's from Europe, or her whole background is she's white and she faces adversity in this country. Her ethnicity has nothing to do with the plot, has nothing to do with the story itself. All right. So a lot of these established white characters could be played by women, and could be played by actresses and actors of any other race and creed. All right, because even in the Harry even in Harry Potter, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but I forget the name of that character from Harry Potter. I wish I had it ready, but there's a character in Harry Potter who was described as white in the books, but then is now played by a black person and things like that. And like, here's my thing too, though. His like the ethnicity of the white character in the books has no bearing on the plot. Therefore, that character could be played by any person, race or creed, and things like that. It really makes no sense. And it just all comes down to people do not think that black people can hold or carry a fantasy franchise. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I loved Chronicles of Narnia when I was growing up. I loved freaking Kingdom Hearts growing up though. But then I felt like I could never be in these fantasy series because when it comes to fantasy, anything with Lord of the Rings or magic and sorcery, black people we're not in those genres. So even as a kid, I loved Chronicles of Narnia. I felt like I could never see myself in that fiction because of my skin color and things like that. And there is very little of black people, black representation in fantasy. And I love this. I love this. I love this. So y'all, why can't come on now, y'all. Y'all been seeing yourselves on screen since the beginning of time. and just and just a few race swap characters make you this mad. Is it coming down to, oh, they're taking these jobs away from white people? There's always going to be jobs for y'all because you guys make a majority of America, but we can't throw black people a bone. And here's my thing too, though. Some people are going to say, well, how would you feel if we took established black characters and made them white? You can't do that. I'm going to use this example right here. Lucas Bishop from the X-Men. All right, like if I really want the X-Men to come to the MCU, because this is a minor character, but I love Lucas Bishop from the X-Men. He's from the Days of Future Past timeline, born in a mutant concentration camp, and was raised by his grandmother, who taught him to emulate the now dead X-Men. And then he travels back in time and meets his heroes, and becomes a core component of the X-Men. He was like the first black member of the X-Men. But here's my thing too, though. If they decide to make Lucas Bishop white, that makes no sense though, because here's the thing though. Lucas Bishop is not just the first black character of the X-Men. He is a black Aboriginal Australian black man. They made it very clear to say that him and his family were black Aboriginal mutants who lived in North America, and they were confined into concentration camps. All right, this is his background. This is who he is. And if they last time I checked, the Aboriginals are not Europeans. That's sometimes when people forget about, Bishop's background. He is a black man, but he's actually an Aboriginal Australian. So like, come on now. It's the same concept with the freaking, hold on, where is it at? Static Shock. If they make Static Shock white, that will make no sense though, because a lot of Static Shock's most famous storylines has to do with him facing discrimination, racism, gang culture, drugs, violence, and things like that, and lots of um, uh, real life stories in the black community. Because I forget which year Static Shock debuted in the comic books, but a lot of his stories with gang violence, racial discrimination, and growing up in the hood. It's a lifestyle a lot of black people leave. It's a lot of lifestyle a lot of black people live, and so if they made him white, that would make no sense, because y'all duped yourselves, because half of our black characters in media, when you do them live action, you have to make them black because of the storylines that they go through in the comic books. So you can't do that. You can't do that. Same thing with Storm. Same thing with Storm. Hold on, wait. Same thing with Storm from excuse Holly Berry, but same thing with Storm from the X-Men. She is a Kenyan mutant from the continent of Africa. It's part of her background and her everything. If they decide to make Storm white, that would make no sense. That would make no sense. We're talking about a Kenyan, a she's from Cairo, or is it Kenya? Excuse me, people from the continent of Africa, if I'm butchering where Storm's really from. But anyway, she is of African descent. And last time I checked, there's no white people in Africa. Let's excuse the white South Africans because they're colonizers. They're not indigenous to Africa. But still, it remains. You can't make Storm white. So y'all gotta try better. But we can. But if we want to take a white character and make them black, we can do that because half the time in these fantasy stories, the ethnicity of these characters has no bearing on the plot. But with black characters, since kind of in America, being black is quote unquote political, and a lot of our black characters, their storylines revolve around what they face and who they come from. You can't make them black. I mean, you can't make them white. You can't make them white. So you'll have to try better. So race swapping is not a thing, and y'all have to get and y'all have to get over this whole you're taking these black like these white characters and making them black for no reason and things like that. Get over it. Though there's plenty of roles for y'all. There are plenty of roles for y'all in Hollywood. If they want to race swap a character and make them black, they can do that. It's really not that big of a deal. It really is not that big of a deal. Because I used, her as an example though, because like yes, it's Annabeth White in the books. Yes, she is. But who she is not bearing on the plot. And if you replace her with an Asian woman, if you replaced her with a Mexican woman, if you replaced her with an African girl, if you replaced her with an indigenous woman, it really would have made no difference as long as they're true to the character. So that's why this hatred of freaking that Miss Leah got was just stupid. It was just stupid. It was just stupid. And I know people are used to a character looking a certain way, but the original Percy Jackson series didn't disappear overnight. If you like White Annabeth, if you like White Tea Annabeth, just go read the books. Go read the books. Go read the books. If you are this fixated on making sure a character stays white, it shows the hatred and racism in your heart to where a black person in media, a black person in this, a black person in that is pushing the envelope. So my entire being, my entire everything is political to you. And what you just expect us to be in movies and TV shows where we're selling drugs, twerking, drinking, partying, and being ghetto or robbing banks because Hollywood did a fantastic job of destroying the image of black people with Boys in the Hood, Don't Be a Menace to Society, and Set It Off, and I'm a baby boy, and all these other hood movies and stuff like that. To where we can't be in Harry Potter, we can't be in a freaking Percy Jackson, we can't be Little Mermaid. It shows the racism that you Europeans have. That like, oh, a black person is pushing it. We can't be in Chronicles of Narnia. We can't be in Lord of the Rings. We only gotta be in Africa. We gotta be in the hood. It really, I'd be at the highest level of festivity. I don't know if festivity is a word, but I'm gonna use that word today. I'm at the highest level of festivity with this BS. And I'm not saying I want to censor you guys. People are entitled to their opinion, but I am entitled to call BS on people's opinions because it's not that serious. It's not that important, people. Yes, if you are this fixated on a character staying white, you are racist. And there's plenty of roles for y'all in Hollywood. Y'all have been seeing yourselves on screen for many, many years too, though. But then if a black person is in a fantasy setting, that's pushing it. That's pushing it. It shows that America. It shows that this country has not healed, and mofo's just does not know when to quit though. But Miss Leah Miss Leah was laughing all the way to the bank because she got two double MC double in what's the word I'm looking for? She got two double MA. What's that? What's that? I'm black. I'm butchering the pronunciation. N double. Okay, she got two NAACP Image Awards for being a person of being a woman of color and having outstanding acting in a fantasy series. The youngest, I think she was probably the youngest to do so. And then she did get a nomination for an Emmy for outstanding acting in a fantasy series in the kid version of the Emmys. So Miss Leah, this girl eats and drip and stuff like that. We're gonna be laughing all the way to the bank. I mean, y'all didn't just did the same thing with when Michael B. Jordan was the Human Torch. Y'all did the same thing with freaking Ariel Ariel as Holly Bailey as Ariel. It's just like we can't lose to win with y'all people. But it's fine. I want Hollywood to continue to take these white characters and make them black because it makes y'all niggas upset. And y'all can't say, "Oh, what if we made other characters black, other characters white?" Like, oh, Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog. Her whole story revolves around her being a black woman in Louisiana and trying to start her business, her restaurant, and a lot of the stuff that Princess Tiana goes through revolves around her being a black woman and making Black Panther black. You can't make Black Panther black. He's the king of Wakanda, and Wakanda was the only. It's fictional, but Wakanda was the only country in Africa that was not colonized. So how the hell can a white person be the ruler of Wakanda? When they're not even indigenous. I mean, first of all, you have to be of royal blood to take the throne of Wakanda and be the Black Panther. So get out of here, y'all. I'm out here with the BS. I was never here with the BS. I'm not going to be around with the BS. There is no such thing as blackwashing. Get over this whole race swap. Get over this whole race swap. It makes no sense. And like the characters I just mentioned, like Storm, Lucas Bishop, and Static Shock, you can't make those characters white because of the storylines that they go through. So yeah, that's all I have to say for right now. I got more videos about to go up dragging these anti woke people because I want to make more. I want to make more videos on this new Iron Man series with a black girl that people are dragging. I got a video on that one, and then I also want to make a video dragging this whole woke culture and how it's nonsensical and dumb. And then sky's the limit, though. As far as the year goes, y'all, I feel very productive. I feel very productive about what I'm doing, though. I've come a long way since last year, and a lot of my old content I actually hate a lot of my old content though. I deleted all my old videos on Melanie Mac. I'm moving on from talking about that grifter and things like that. And I've moved on from talking about celebrities and mask wearing and things like that. I think I'm just, I feel free and I feel healthy and I'm the happiest I have ever been in my life. So yeah, 2025 is off to a good start though, and I'm ready to, do my thing, have some fun. And I got some more videos coming out and stuff like that. So yeah, stick around for that. And as always, like and subscribe. I'm Knowledge Seeker, and I'm signing off.